this is going to be a close election.
Yeah.
It is.
I'll not understand that, but it is going to be. It is going to be. And I oftentimes talk about this. Some of you maybe heard me talk about this. My wife and I, we struggled with infertility issues, and when we finally got our child and that little girl came into the world, we named her Hope because it's the most powerful word in the universe.
Amen.
But my wife reminds us, it's not a plan. We don't hope that we win this election. We don't hope that people get to the polls. We don't hope things work out in 49 days. We plan to make it happen the way we want
That's
to.
right.
We prepare. And that's where all of you are at. This is not going to be won in a Twitter fight. It's going to be by neighbors calling up neighbors on the phone. Look, all of us said in these places, me, this is what I first started. I'm 41 years old, minding my own business. And somebody told me, I said, well, I'll get involved in politics. That's what happens to many of us. So be careful. Some of you said, that's how it works. But it's about neighbors getting engaged. It's not about planning your whole life to be there. It's about working together, and each of us have a role in that. And when you set it that and call your neighbor, they listen to you. We can run a lot of expensive ads, which we need to do, but it's going to be neighbor to neighbor, door knock to door knock. Trying to tell somebody, having that hard conversation. When they tell you, well, I don't know, I like his policy. Which one? Tax cuts for billionaires? Is that the one you like? Or do you like the one that women die because they can't get health care that they should be able to get if they need reproductive care? Is that the one you like?
Right.
Is the one you like the one that undermines the ability to collectively bargain and form a trade union so the middle class will lift up? Or is the one you really like is the commitment to tear the ACA away so you don't have health care? Those are things that are really drawing you there, because if they are, I guess go with that. But my guess is the vast majority of people you talk to will say, no, we want this. So we did hear it was National Voter Registration Day. It's also Constitution Day, which is an important thing. Constitution above all else. And we've got a choice here, and you saw it. You saw in that debate a leader with the poise, with the dignity, with the vision, with the compassion, with the clarity, and with a lifetime of service to others, not herself, in Kamala Harris. And then you saw Donald Trump. And so that contrast, especially on this day, the one thing we can do on Constitution Day is make sure that we understand the foundational principles of this country are free and fair elections. As I said this, whether it's the teams I coached or the kids I had in school, our young people understand that when you're in a contest and you lose, you go across and shake the hand, and then you're hopeful for the other person. That's a very foundational principle. So for all of you, I think one of the things is, we know is going to be a close race. It's going to come down to a few states. Georgia's probably at the center of that. It's a big piece of it. That's a privilege. That is a privilege that you have, because you are the people in this room that could very likely make a difference in putting Kamala Harris as Madam President. The Vice President is focused on her job. She is humble, she does her stuff, but I think some of us can back up and understand the historic nature of what that means, but also what it means. And this is the part I so loved about this. I had the opportunity, first time, to be with her and Doug and my wife. Were on the bus, old school, going through places. We're, I believe, we're someplace in Pennsylvania. We went down to Savannah. Some of you saw that, where people are melt your hearts. Little girls on the side of the roads in rural Georgia with Kamala signs, or we love you, Vice President, and those things. It's inspiring to people. But we were getting off that bus at a rally, and there were a whole bunch of people like you, very excited for us or whatever. And then there's some people on the other side that weren't as excited. And I said, what's good is it makes it easy to know, because they all wear red hats. So you know, I knew they weren't with us. I said, a whole pack of independent thinkers down the side. But you know what the Vice President said, and I'm looking at this out there, we're getting off the bus, and I hadn't been around her all that much in that setting. It was just the four of us. And she stopped and she turned and she said, Tim, never forget, we work just as hard for those people on this side of the street as people on this side. Winning an election is a means to an end. It's incredibly important. The end is a more inclusive and fair society where everybody belongs. And we're working hard for the people who we know our policies will improve their lives, whether they vote for us or not. And that's it. That's the power of this politics. That's the power that she brought back to this. That's the reason you go out and knock the doors. And it's fine to have differences of opinions, but we're talking about a lot of fundamental things. The sanctity of our vote, the idea of women having their own reproductive freedoms, the idea that every child should be free to go to school without worrying about being shot dead, which this state experienced the tragedy of. That is not just a fact of life, people. That is not just a fact of life, and as Donald Trump would know, this violence across the country has got to end. Gun violence has got to end. We need a leader who's willing to take that on in every way. So I'm here on behalf of Vice President Harris to say thank you. We know, as we say up in the Midwest, the hay's almost in the barn here, and which means we're getting pretty close. Vice President, she did everything she needed to do last week. She's doing everything she needs to do every day. She's making the case for all of us. And as I tell people, she is perfectly capable of taking care of herself. Our job is to have her back. Our job is to have her back. I'll end with this. What the country saw that night was, I had a few people, and they meant well, but they said, my goodness, Vice President Harris was so good and so forceful and commanded that stage. I was really surprised. And my response was, why were you surprised? Why were you surprised that this accomplished woman who went from being a district attorney to the Attorney General of California to a United States Senator to the Vice President, highly accomplished across the board? And I think many of us in here probably know, and we know that there's those that shoulders we stand on have been beating up that glass ceiling for a long time. There's cracks in it, but that's not good enough. We need to put Kamala Harris through that ceiling. Tell your friends, IWillVote.com is the place where you go to get voter registration day. We need to see massive numbers. We've got young people who are re-engaged. I see them in here who they believe in the system. They believe in something better. They can be, politics can be about differences of ideas, but we can still see ourselves as all Americans. She has brought that to us. I ask all of you, let's finish this thing. Let's bring this thing done. I keep telling people, and some, like this guy, are taking it seriously. 49 days is simple. Sleep when you're dead. Finish this thing. All gas, no brake for 49 days. Let's go get them. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
We're grateful. If you guys are making some calls and you get somebody on there, let me talk to them. So I will, if they come up. But I'm grateful. Thank you. So we got one? All right. You guys got a call? So thank you. Thank you all for being here. Are you feeling it?
Okay, Cross, go to the car. Cross, come.
Next thing I know, I went to Congress and I was governor, and here I am. There you go. There you go. Hi, Rosa. Tim Walz here. How are you?
That's what's up.
Well, good. I'm down here in Macon with a whole bunch of new friends. We're working hard for Kamala Harris. Believes that gives us a better chance to chart an opportunity economy, and I'm just calling to see if there's anything I can do to try and earn your vote and support.
You won't see Trump do nothing like this.
Oh, you're the best. Thank you for doing that. Let us know if there's anything we can do. And in 49 days, we're going to have Madam President. So thank you.
Madam President.
Thank you, ma'am. Pleasure to talk to you. Yeah, bye-bye. She's in. She even said she's talking to all her friends.
That's what's up.
Walz here. How are you? Good. I'm down here in Macon at the office. I got a whole bunch of new friends here working like crazy trying to make the case that Kamala Harris is the person we need for president. So I'm trying to get your vote. Oh, isn't she fantastic? She is. Well, thank you. We're out here working hard. I hope you're talking to your friends or your relatives trying to get on board. This thing's going to be close and it's going to come right through Georgia. Well, you were the best. It's a real privilege to talk to you, and thank you for picking up this morning and talking to us. Yep, bye-bye. She's in. She's voted. She's ready. So, good.
Right. Exactly. Down with the people. Down with the people.
You can't get Trump to do this.
Thanks, everybody. I'm really proud of you.
Yeah.
You will. Nah, you good.
And they can escort.